Named after the 23rd state, the USS Maine became one of the most intimidating battleships the world had ever seen. Commissioned as the first armored cruiser in the U.S. Navy, the Maine was launched on November 18, 1889. This massive battleship was utilized in the eastern part of the U.S. and around the Caribbean. Formerly designed in Europe, the USS Maine was equipped with newly advanced steam engine technology as a means to generate power instead of utilizing the traditional sail power. Although it was first designed to be an armored cruiser with the purpose of expanding modernization due to the Maine's battleship features, it was later classified as a coastal battleship. On January 25, 1898, the USS Maine sailed into Havana Harbor in Cuba because the United States thought that the presence of an American warship would have stabilizing effect on Spain's control over its Cuban colony and would help to reduce guerrilla activities in the region. On February 15, 1898, the great ship was completely destroyed, the cause of which is still unknown today. The explosion greatly shook the Maine, causing small but apparent jolts, enough to set the ammunition on fire.
With the rapid damage that the explosion had caused, undamaged lifeboats from the Maine and lifeboats sent by a Spanish cruiser were used to save the remaining people aboard the ship. Approximately 260 people perished in the explosion or died drowning. There were only 90 survivors. The wounded were immediately sent to hospitals, while the dead were buried in the Havana Cemetery in Cuba. Due to the unexpected turn of events, numerous investigations into what caused the sinking of the Maine were initiated. Many people came to believe that Spain had a role in the demolishment of the warship. The New York Journal popularized the idea that Spain was responsible for the destruction of the battleship, which created a strong sentiment in favor of war with Spain. The Yellow Press included drawings by artists who had never been to the Havana nor seen a naval mine. "Remember the Maine to hell with Spain" became a common phrase to encourage war against Spain and avenge the Maine.
William McKinley was president during this time as the United States' relations with Spain deteriorated. After the destruction of the USS Maine, the McKinley administration created a naval board of inquiry to look into the causes of the explosion. They concluded that the blast was caused by a mine placed outside of the ship. However, they were unable to find evidence that placed the blame for the explosion on anyone in particular. Regardless, there were massive pro-war sentiment among the American public who sought vengeance against the Spanish. The Spanish also had their own board of inquiry investigate the causes of the sinking. The Spanish concluded that the battleship sank because of an inside explosion, which was the complete opposite from what the U.S. believed. However, the reasonings were based upon what witnesses didn't see. For example, no one saw a geyser as a sign of an underwater blast. Also, there were no dead fish in the water, and if the mine was set off, no shock wave was felt. Spain had no reason to destroy the Maine. The Spanish had nothing to gain and everything to lose if they were to attack the battleship.
Because of the lack of evidence indicating that Spain was to blame for the incident, President McKinley was unsure about declaring war against them. Soon, the citizens of the United States viewed McKinley as a weak and ignorant president. On April 11, 1898, McKinley asked Congress to initiate a war against Spain, and 14 days later, the Spanish-American War officially began. The USS Maine, although not the underlying cause of the Spanish-American War, was one of, if not the primary event that ignited the war with Spain, as it provided the United States with an opportunity to claim that there was Spanish aggression against them. This event was crucial to the history of the United States as it was a key point in the road to the Spanish-American War, the outcomes of which signaled the emergence of the United States as a major imperial power. Spain's presence in Cuba directly contradicted the policies of the Monroe Doctrine, which states that the Americas are for the Americans, and no other nation can colonize or interfere in these territories. Spain's existence in Cuba caused U.S. intervention in order to help minimize the Spanish power in Cuba. Many Americans viewed these transformations as inevitable and positive continuations of the nation's manifest destiny.